All right, gang. So, whew, last sub is out, and I've been checking them, and as you can see, like they're not hurt, bro. These things like brand freaking new still. Look at the coil. Coil is like nice, golden, perfect copper color. The leads still look the same. I mean, they're cheap. They are eBay branded, but I mean, nothing's ripped out, nothing's. And I've put some fire to these, man. Like I said, I got that Teramp 15K, and we were running these to a 1 ohm load, so we should have been getting every bit of 10,000 to these motherfuckers, and it's at 10,000, bro. You divide it by 4. I mean, you're doing well over rated power. These things are rated for 1,000 RMS, 2,000 max, and we were easily putting 2,500 watts to these, easily, and they were taking it. But the only problem is it's just a little bit too much for these, man. It's a little too. You got to be careful. If you got less power, these would work great. But for me, I've got an overkill amp, and I really want some more dBs. So these things get hot quick. They get loud, but they get stinky really quick. So rather than fry one, I just opted to, like, I save it, man. I'll turn it down. I know how to back it off. I know how to keep it from clipping and stuff like that. So obviously I kept the subs in good working condition. So but yeah, great subs, man. No one on the internet has used these yet, so I feel like I put them to the test pretty good. I didn't get a lot of demos, man. We missed the one show that I was gonna go to with these, just to meter them and see what number they would put down. But I was really hoping that it was at least a 50. So that being said, man, that's pretty much gonna be the end of an era with these. This was always the plan, boys. This was always the plan. I was never supposed to run these subs to start with. This is just something that I wanted to do to kind of get going, get back into audio. And I knew I was gonna want to upgrade, and I knew the sub that I really wanted to from the beginning, but I was skeptical, and really I kind of still am, man. But again, man, you can't always go off what people say on the internet. So that being said, man, these have done great. I actually liked how loud they were. I just disliked the fact that they cook so quickly, man. Like if the new subs get just as loud, if not louder than these, and don't stink, I'll be perfectly happy. But we'll see what happens when the time comes. All right, guys, so I got the new subs in. I did not film really anything, but basically all I had to do with these was I had to make the hole just a little bigger, pause. So I used the jigsaw, the jigsaw, and I used 60 grit sandpaper on the DA. And what I would do is just over the hole out just a little bit, and then I would go back behind it with the DA and smooth everything out. And I kept doing it until I got it perfect to where these will actually fit the right way. And then when I look back at my box specs, I'm supposed to have around 3.5. It's really 3.7, 3.6 something cube total, minus the port makes it 3.5, 3.5, and these subs take about 3.26 cube per sub. So to keep things safe, I didn't want to starve them at all. I just inverted them so that none of the motor or anything is taken away from that volume on the inside. So if anybody that doesn't know audio is watching this, a lot of times when you see an inverted sub, that's all it is. They're trying to utilize every single like 0.01 inch of box space to make it perform as optimum as possible. So yeah, I got all of that. They're wired in perfectly to 1 ohm. So we're running a nice, smooth 1 ohm stable on this amp now. And man, guys, this thing has woke the fuck up. I'm still in break-in. I only got to drive it like 1 or 2 days this week, so I'm still breaking them in, but I could turn my bass knob wide open now. That's not the game. Before anybody starts coming, that's just the bass knob. Whereas before, when I had the cheaper subs in here, I could only go about halfway to 3/4, especially on rebase, and it would start smelling. So now this thing, like, it just eats it, man. These are rated for 3000 max, 1500 RMS, so we can put quite a bit of power to them. And as you can see, whereas we had like a little opening like right here before, or something like this before, now I have opened this whole entire sunroof front half up. Like, this thing is freaking breathing, guys. It is getting down, and I'm super, super happy with it right now. So what we're gonna do today, hopefully, is continue on prepping this thing for Hday. I'm not gonna do a lot of talking. I'm probably gonna try to do a little bit of time lapse and stuff, but I just really want to get this done. This thing's gonna take me probably 2 hours, 3 hours at the minimum. Hopefully, if everything goes smooth, man. I'm trying to get ideas in my head, but I've never done this before. And what you might be asking, am I gonna do today? Well, if you saw my Instagram story, I bought mids and highs, guys. So we got 4 of these. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce it, but they're the Tampanino. I can't say that word, I'm country as fuck. But yeah, this brand right here, I got 4 6.5s, and I got 4 of their like tweeters. I don't know, bullet tweeters, whatever they call. And we're gonna run it off of this Stepson 800x4. This is a 1 ohm stable amp, so you can run 4 channels, 1 ohm, and I think it's about 226 per channel. So not crazy power. I mean, you probably could put 400 watts on each pair of these probably, but I don't want to push it. I don't want to, because again, guys, I don't know anything about this. Like, I don't have a driver or inline, anything like to kind of regulate the basses and stuff. The only thing I can rely on is what this amp has, which it can cut the low pass out and just send high pass to the speakers. And then the tweeters, of course, have the bass blockers already on them. So that's really cool. I noticed that when I bought these, this brand is actually related to PRV. So I don't know if PRV actually makes them, or they're like under the same umbrella or what, but this is actually some type of affiliation with PRV, so that's really cool. These are supposed to be 500 max, but I think they're saying about 200 RMS, and the tweeters are like 150 RMS or so. So I really don't want to go past any of that. So honestly, you probably could run 4 of these tweeters off this amp, but I'm gonna put everything. It's gotta be louder, guys, than what the factory like 50 watt by 4 Pioneer is doing. So we're gonna triple, almost times it by 4 the power outage. So we should definitely be pretty freaking loud. And my goal is, honestly, the only thing you probably will see is the tweeter. I'm still kind of in the air as to where to mount it, because I don't want to mount it low where it'll be just breathing into the door, but it's not really thick right here. So I don't know if the back of the tweeter, it might fit, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to mount it somewhere like near this back, especially on the front door. So I'm gonna try to find a good enough position, guys, because when we cut that hole, it's gonna be pretty final, and we don't wanna do nothing crazy. So, but on these doors, you can see this top portion right here is pretty much the thickest point. I can't really mount it here because this is just not wide enough for the tweeter. So it's gonna have to probably be like right in this area here. Hopefully there's nothing behind here that interferes, but if so, we can do that on both sides. We're running wires back, and I'm gonna mount the 6.5s in the factory location. Keep things simple and try to keep it as clean as possible. If this works out, I might end up coming back one day and trying to do like a setup down here like you see with like 4 or 5, or not 4 or 5, maybe 3 6.5s at the bottom, maybe one more super tweet up top, or I don't know, something like that. Just try to make it a little bit more loud as far as the highs go. But I think if this works out, I think I should definitely be happy with this setup. So without any more talking, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this. Hday Prep Spring 2024, let's get it. So it's been about 3 hours or so, and I finally got all the doors wired to where the wire is coming out and everything goes back to the amp. With the front doors, I actually had to take them off the hinge to get it to run through, like where the factory wiring is, just so you wouldn't have nothing sticking out or showing or whatever. So I'll put a picture on screen now of what that looked like, but I actually pulled the entire door off the hinge to get the wire through at the front on both sides. But the good news is, I think that's the uphill of this battle, man. I think from here on out, we should be downhill. The other issue that I ran into is these are significantly bigger, which I figured, than the stock door setup. So what I'm gonna have to do is end up mounting them on the door itself. Now, to do that, what I'm gonna do is, they give you this perfect little cutout. This is the exact diameter of what that fits in. So as long as I follow this circle, that should drop right in and we can bolt it down. What I'm gonna do is what I kind of wanted to do to start with, but then I kind of second guessed it and was gonna mount it inside the door. But I'm gonna see if I could go by Lowe's or somewhere and buy a piece of wood that, I don't need a huge piece, that I can just cut 4 pods out of. So I'm gonna make like an oval type of pod, wide enough to cover this entire thing, so it'll come around like that, and then probably make it like an oval shape so that we can put the 6.5 right here, and then we'll put the tweeter right there. So it'll be like both in one little neat little unit, and then what we can do with the door panel is just jigsaw out the back before we mount the wood piece, so that the magnets and stuff from the tweeter and the speaker don't interfere with anything on the door. So that's probably gonna be my plan for that. I think that'll work the best and it'll look the nicest, which is why I wanted to do it to start with. I had changed my mind because I figured it would be quicker to just mount them in the door. But of course I should have known a 400, 500 watt speaker would not fit where a 25 watt speaker was at. Should have known that, but not an issue. They give you this perfect circle to trace out. So I'm gonna take a break from this, go grab something to eat, and see if we can go get a piece of wood from somewhere, and we'll just pick this back up once we get back. Hopefully finishing up the door panels. I ain't gonna lie, I did jump ahead and test one of the 6.5s, which you see sitting right down there. And that one, guys, is stupidly louder than the entire van was before. So I cannot wait to see what the tweeter and that's gonna sound like. And I can't wait to see what all 4 doors completed is gonna sound like. Like, it's gonna be cool, man. I might actually have something that I can open the doors up on, and the music will sound great, the bass will be there, and it'll just be one of those all-around setups, which I've never had. So this is really big for me. So yeah, let's go see if we can find some wood and something to eat. All right, guys, so fast forward a few days, and I just finished these things up today, and they sound amazing. I'm not even gonna try to play it for you because copyright, but just trust me, this thing is exactly what this van needed. The highs are now matching up with the bass, and it is freaking amazing. I love this thing. And I got the amp tucked under here. See if I can show it to y'all. So there's the little Stepson amp right there, 800 by 4. Sits perfectly under the seat, and the 15K is under that seat over there, and the lithium is in the middle. And guys, it's freaking working. I'm so glad of it, man. I know this video is gonna suck because I did not film much of it, but guys, I had to just go ahead and get that stuff knocked out. Hday is coming up. It is, so I'm recording this on Saturday, so basically one Saturday from today or the next Saturday we shall be at Hday with the van, hopefully, if nothing comes up. So subs, guys, are breaking in beautifully. I've only got to drive it a couple days because we started tearing it apart for those doors, but these things are freaking beasts. And like I think I could turn the amp up, honestly, some more. Now I'm able to max out my bass knob up front. Before, with the cheaper subs, I could not do that, especially on rebass. Now regular music, yeah, but on rebass I had to only go, I could only go to some songs, I could go to like 3/4. So I think it's really, this thing is amazing, man. And I hope that anybody that's going to Hday is able to come through, get a demo, hang out and stuff, because this thing really sounds great, man. It's just nice all the way around. It's got the bass, it's got the doors now. It's pretty much exactly what I envisioned for this thing. So I really don't see myself changing much at all. If anything, maybe we'll do different amps on the doors. Maybe we'll do like 2 of the 800s, 1 per door or something like that. Try to squeeze a little bit more out of the highs and stuff. But the way it is, man, I got the amp side to a little bit less than halfway on the gain, so that I can crank the Pioneer up to like 40, 36 to 40, and it doesn't distort at all. And she is doing great. So yeah, but that being said, man, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Again, guys, Hday Spring 2024. We will be there. We're shooting for Saturday, but probably whichever day has the prettiest weather is the day we'll probably go, but we're shooting for Saturday. So if you're coming out, make sure you look for the van, look for us, say what up, maybe be in a vlog. I might try to vlog demos or something if I do demos to everybody. So yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap it up, man. I'll catch y'all later. Remember, respect all bills. Peace out.